Hello everybody, how's everybody doing today? Oh, that's pretty good. People are still networking and they're still paying attention to me. Give me just a minute, guys. How do you wrangle a bunch of real estate investors? Hi everyone, I'm Bernadette with the Boston Area Real Estate Investors Association, and I'm really excited about this today. We've typically done rehab tours. We haven't done new construction, and I'm going to turn it over. We're going to go live. I know that Chris said we're going to take a little walk of the subdivision, and I'm going to come back and he's going to go over everything. But let me hand it off to Chris Moniz, who is the controller and also the vice president of new construction with Brownstone Real Estate Group. So everybody get up for Chris.
Thank you very much. Thank you for taking time on Saturday to come out and join us today. Like Brad said, we're going to take a few minutes to kind of give you an overview of our latest subdivision here in Taunton, Massachusetts. It's a 10-lot subdivision that also included 2 renovations, so it's a total of 12 lots. A little bit of history behind here. There was a roller rink that operated for over 60 years, up to about 10 years ago. That was acquired during the land purchase as well. You're standing in one of the most popular houses in the subdivision. It's a 1,900 square foot split level ranch with a 1-car garage. This home is sold for $345,000. It includes 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Again, definitely our most popular floor plan here on the project. And in time, it fits a really good price point. You get some move-up buyers, you get a lot of first-time home buyers, you get some empty nesters. So it's a good sweet spot in the market here on the new construction side of the business. The plan today is to kind of give you a little bit of overview of the project itself, the agencies that are involved in the project, a little bit about permitting of the project. We're going to start with a quick tour of the roadway itself and talk a little bit about, again, some of the different agencies. We had EPA here, we had Natural Heritage, obviously the city's approval board through zoning, as well as planning, city engineer, city planner, all have to sign off on projects that kicked off here as well. And then we'll kind of come back in here. We'll recap some of the agencies and answer some questions throughout the day. So again, thank you very much for taking a Saturday afternoon, and we're going to head outside.
All right, go ahead. We'll follow you.
Chris, what did you say? 3:45? 3:45.
Coffee. Now we are very lucky here, folks, for having such a beautiful day. A little windy, so if you're hearing the wind, sorry.
We're sitting in the cul-de-sac of Woodbine Street. The project itself, we started permitting it back in 2015. We broke ground in late 2016, 2017 with the construction of the roadway. There was a pre-existing road here, and then it was a paper road. The pre-existing road ended at this gray front and back owner-occupied road on the street. From the family that sold us the land at the time. So it was a city accepted road, but part of the permitting process is we had to reconstruct the road, add the cul-de-sac, and things like that. Some of the agencies that you'll see that were involved here is started with the EPA. There was some dumping here, and it was a super site contamination site at one point. So there was some cleanup on some of the parcel. You see back there, there's actually some remnants of an old landfill and some dumping in the land back there. In addition, we had Natural Heritage here. There is a habitat for the eastern spade-toed frog. So there was several meetings and environmental consultants with our engineer involved in permitting this and getting Natural Heritage approval to construct the roadway. Some of the things that natural heritage has some jurisdiction over, in particular, is this land. There's going to be a deed restriction and conservation area of about 5 acres of land back here that's going to get deeded back to natural heritage. You'll also see, when we get out on the deck later, that we've started to do some reconstruction of the habitat. So we have to recreate the habitat back here for the frog, and we're planting a particular varietal of grass as well. That was all part of that conservation restriction of natural heritage. The lot out front also has some habitat, a potential habitat for the frog. So we're going to be kicking off a frog study in the next couple of weeks, where we're going to be putting some silt fence down, installing some buckets so we can look for the frogs during their mating season before we can actually break ground on that. So there's lots of involved. In addition to natural heritage, then we had to get approval from the city planner, the planning board. And here, in particular, these lots will not meet all of the zoning requirements for the town based on where we are in a rural residential neighborhood. So we needed to get zoning approval for relief on area and frontage to create the lots that you see here. All in all, we ended up with 12 lots, 2 being the first existing houses, which we're going to walk down to in a couple of minutes, that were renovated. And then there are 10 new lots. We have 8 houses completed now. There's another lot that actually has frontage out back here on Vincent Street, and the lot up here on O'Gallagher. You'll see the cul-de-sac itself pitches back towards here. We've got some isolated wetlands that we also addressed here. The road itself, when it was originally drawn, went straight through to the abutting road on Vincent Street. But part of the negotiations with the city and with Natural Heritage was to create this cul-de-sac, which creates a little bit of a unique opportunity on that 10th lot. Instead of that being tied into the city municipal sewer and water, that'll have a septic system. It will have water, but it will have a septic system. That'll be the only lot with a septic. So we do have city water and sewer. We tapped it out on Oak Street, brought the city water and sewer up here. It loops back around and back out to Oak Street. So all these homes will have full municipal services at the end. It'll be a city accepted road. So it'll have full trash pickup, snow removal, things like that. Any questions so far?
Just one, but maybe I'm too early. When you're dealing with like the frog and all these different things, how do you know that they're going to say yes on a project like this?
You don't.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't. So there was a back and forth. So all in all, start the process is, we put the land under contract with the current landowners. During the process, we identify what habitats are here. Is everyone familiar with like MapGeo and using MapGeo and how that works? No. So there's a website through the city of Taunton as well as the state of Massachusetts that will allow you to do that interacts with Google Earth, that will allow you to do layovers. So we can actually pull up a GPS satellite view of the subdivision, and then there's a conservation section of that, and you can do layovers to see what agencies might have jurisdiction over the land, and that's when we initially identified natural heritage. So our engineer on the project does the initial research to identify if there's going to be any agencies with jurisdiction over it. We already knew EPA had some jurisdiction because of the super site and some of the dumping that was done here many, many years ago. And we were aware of the cleanup. The current landowners were already participating in that cleanup effort. So the engineer reached out to Natural Heritage, began the conversations with them on kind of what the project was going to be, what the project was going to entail, the number of homes, the preliminary plan, things like that. And then with that, we had to hire an environmental specialist as well, and a biologist. So that biologist works directly with Miss Deanne at Natural Heritage to start the conversations about what can be done with the habitat, what potential species are here, how to identify those species, what was going to be the impact of the homes here, and that kind of snowballed into full permitting process. Any other questions?
Did you expect it was going to take this long to get to this point?
No. Initially when we started looking at the land, we expected about a 6 or 8 month process, and it quickly turned into about 14 months to get it to its 14 months.
For another property such as this, where you have all these different agencies involved, is there like a typical time frame you can expect, or is it kind of like just play by ear?
You kind of got to play it by ear. So a lot of times when you're negotiating land like this, what we typically do, when we know there's going to be other agencies involved, is that you start the permitting process in the current landowner's name, so that you have the purchase and sales contract under agreement with contingencies upon, the number of lots that you're going to get, what the preliminary plan looks like. So, and then they will let you do the facilitation at your costs to do so. But at least you can get that done before you actually have to lock up funds to acquire the property.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. You maybe answered it all, but what type of contingencies did you have in your contract?
Yeah, so typically in the contract is we put together a formula of what the house lots are going to look like. We had potential. At one point, there's 2 additional lots up here. We had some other lots kind of squeezed in here, some different area and frontage that we were playing with the zoning board. We could have gotten about 15 homes if we could have done more with the land up there. There was upward of 20. So you start with that concept plan and you kind of whittle it down from there. So you put some contingencies on, that it's got to be approved by local town planning. It's got to be approved by any state agency that's involved in it, and then you got to put a minimum number of lots that you're going to get on it so that your numbers work. So here you've got everyone. When you see the land acquisition cost, we actually paid $525,000 for the land and the 2 houses. I'm like, wow, that's a score. I'm getting 2 houses that are already worth more than what I'm paying for the land. But then you've got to take into consideration there's about $120,000 of engineering here. The environmental studies, we're pushing $60,000 on that. You get $250,000 in road costs. So that all adds up, and then you divide up by the number of lots that you have. That's going to be the carrying cost on your lot. So you kind of build all of that into the factor.
I just wanted, you said that was an owner-occupied house. Did you have to do something special to work with those people?
They were familiar with the project, and they were familiar with the Roses. Kind of kept them in the loop. Other than being really nice to them, and them being probably the best abutters we've ever worked with on the rehab and new construction side of the business, they've actually been great. We gave them a new driveway. They're going to get all new grading in their yard. We'll landscape them. And at the end of the day, as a parting gift, I'm probably going to put a new roof on their house.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Nice. Nice.
Just, they've been so good to work with and so cooperative through this whole process. And at the end of the day, they're very thankful. I can't know the number of times they've come out and said, "Thank you for putting a road in here. My daughter finally has a place to ride her bike."
Yeah.
Right.
So some good stuff as part of that as well.
How did you raise the money for it?
Here, private investing, so private equity.
There was no attempts to buy that property? They didn't want to sell it?
No, they didn't want to sell it. We weren't tied to the original family. They were the only occupant that was still here on a regular basis. Any other questions? All right, let's take a quick tour down. So numerically, that starts lot 1. So that's the same house. That one's actually under agreement for $352,000. So as the project went on, the price actually ticked up a little bit with the market. We held that one until the sheetrock was up and did an open house, and we had multiple offers within one day. The first 3 houses that were done and are sold and occupied are here. So this is lot 6, 7, and 8. You'll see that we have 2 different house models here that were incorporated into the subdivision. We tried to do different price points here, so we knew we were going to be in that $345 range. We wanted to offer something that was a little bit less, so we got the front to back splits. They both sold in the $330. One sold for $330, one sold for $335. They're about just under 1,900 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Overall, hindsight being 20/20, cost of construction about $190,000 to build that house foundation up. about $175,000 to build this one foundation up. You get a lot more bang for your buck here. So the front to back split, the raised ranch with the one-car garage, at grade garage, is far more popular.
Are the plans for these houses, like you just purchased them, they're already been designed, and this kind of house could be found somewhere else?
It can. These are pretty standard houses, but we do work with a local architect and to do these plans. So we have a local architect that we work with on a pretty regular basis. They're also doing other larger projects for us as well. And we're constantly looking to tweak them, so it's good. So once you build a house, you can kind of get a feel of the flow and the plan and how this closet worked or that bathroom worked. So we're always making improvements. You'll see when we go back through here. So these first three houses have a larger utility room downstairs, and we found that that wasn't a good use of space. So you'll see that in these two houses, we shrunk that utility room down, and in that mud entrance coming off the garage, we created a custom built-in for lockers. You know, mud rooms and lockers are this huge selling point now. Doesn't add a lot of cost for us. We made a minor tweak to the architectural plan, and it's a huge bonus to the homeowners.
Everybody say hi, Chris Coit, because he's watching it.
Facebook Live.
So you'll see here along the back, these lots themselves have upland up to the silk fence, and then beyond the silk fence is some wetlands and some restricted areas. And you'll see there are some strategically restricted area signs specifically for that conservation restriction. So all of the land along back here is also part of the project. So we'll just stop here for a quick second before we head back up, just to kind of talk a little bit about the two rehabs. You know, on a typical rehab or flip, you know, looking at these, they probably would have been, you know, anywhere between $40,000 and $50,000 budgets. We did go a little bit above and beyond and spent probably a little more than we wanted to on these two rehabs. You know, Chris and I have gone back and forth with it, but we wanted to make sure that the rehabs would fit in with the new construction piece. So we did new roofs, new windows, new siding, you know, upgraded the heating systems, and, you know, new decks, new porches, a lot of different things, so that from an aesthetical standpoint, architectural standpoint on the outside, they fit in with the new houses that be going in, and there wouldn't be some, you know, older rehabs up here with brand new houses in the back. The reason why I'm coming down here is this is the last lot, or one of the last lots that we have available. This lot and the one we talked about in the back with the septic. This has a perceived habitat for the eastern spade-toed frog. So we're in the process of starting a frog study. We have to put a certain amount of dollars in escrow with a local attorney in order to conduct the frog study. It's actually going to be managed by Brian Madden, our environmental consultant, and facilitated by Chris and I. So the staking that just took place on Friday is the limitation of work. We have to install a silk fence, and then we have to install 5-gallon buckets that'll be put subterranean into the ground every 30 feet. And every day, Chris or myself has to come in and monitor the activity of the frog, if there's any frog during their mating season, and then monitor any frog activity. Is there any frog activity found? Chart it every day and bring it back. So we have a 60-day period in which we have to monitor that before we're going to be allowed to build on that lot. Once we identify if there's any frog activity, then we can have that lot released. So we're going to do the same exact house here. So you get the two lots facing Oak Avenue. That's a 48 by 28 raised ranch. with a 2-car garage, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. So a little bit larger than the one we were in there. And those retail, that one's over $365. With a slight uptick in the market, we'll probably get $375 for that one.
How many square feet?
Those are just over 2,000. They're like 2,050 square feet with the finished area in the basement. A little bit larger bedroom. We do cathedral ceiling in the master ensuite versus just a common bathroom.
So depending on what happens with the frogs, there's a chance that you wouldn't be able to build on that lot?
There's a chance, but we've been here for almost 2 years and we haven't seen one yet. So chances of us seeing one again.
And you know more about the frog than you ever wanted
We
to?
know more about the Spain-toed frog than I ever wanted.
Tastes like chicken.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because I actually did my undergrad in biology, so I have my undergraduate degree in biology, and then I actually taught high school for a couple of years before I got into corporate America, and then ultimately into the real estate business. So I've been able to talk a little intelligently with them, a little bit, many years ago, but
Aren't they in mating season right now?
they are. Yeah. So the way that we're outlined is that we have to have this silk fence and the buckets installed by April 30th, and then the study goes from May and June. So hoping to break ground there this summer.
Did this one sell first weekend as well?
Yes. So most of these homes were sold or under agreement as they were built. It's been a very popular product. It's like we talked about. It fits in the Greater Taunton area at a certain price point, and over the last 6 months, inventory has been very low in this city. About 2 weeks ago, there were only 48 single-family homes on the market. So with that, there's more buyers in the market than there are sellers. And when you put on a brand new house at the same price point of a house that's 10 or 15 years old, this becomes a pretty easy sell. The pros and cons to it is most of these lots are 10 to 15,000 square feet. Some pre-existing homes might have larger pieces of land, a little bit more land to take. So you give up a little bit of yard and land for a brand new, and that's kind of what we see in the buyer pool right now.
What are the terms of the offers you're getting? Are they waiving their home inspection and mortgage contingency? Are they putting down 20%?
It varies. We've had FHA here. We've had some that have waived home inspection, some that have not. Home inspection on a brand new home is pretty easy. Some choose to do it, some don't. It just depends on the buyer and their agent. All of new homes in Massachusetts do come with a 1-year builder's warranty, so we're responsible for, craftsmanship repairs, defects in workmanship, manufacturer's warranty, things like that. So I have a customer service person on my team that is responsible for doing and facilitating all of the home repairs throughout the process. So at closing, they get a package branded with Brownstone with all of the manuals, warranty cards, everything, garage door remotes, and then 2 checklists. One that they send in after 3 months, and one that they send in 11 months. So at 3 months, they'll send it in to Brian. Brian will come out and meet with them, kind of create a punch list, fix anything that's in his wheelhouse of repairs. So he can handle settling cracks, plaster, paint, minor repairs in the house, and then if we have to get it out to the plumber or the electrician to come back and do something. Craig, the other night, if you were at the event, talked a little bit about the arc fault, ground fault breakers. Some of those get a little temperamental, so we've had to swap a breaker or 2 out here or there and things like that. Minor stuff on appliances, door swings, handle locks, things like that.
I was just going to say, for those of you, and many of you weren't at the event, Brownstone runs a mastermind session quarterly. If you're part of their monthly program, you get invited to that. So just go on the website and check it out.
Any other questions? All right, well, we can head. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you mentioned the road cost for about $250,000. Does that include like the sewer as well, or is that just the physical road?
No, that's everything. So that's getting the roadway in, water, sewer, infrastructure, water and sewer out, sub to each property. We actually worked with Columbia Gas here as well, so we did bring gas up the road to be able to service the property. Part of that negotiation was they did all the gas work, we just had to provide contractor digs, so we had to provide the excavator and the sand for the services going to each house. What's left to do here, water and sewer are done. It's really just the final Cape Cod berm and the top coat. And one of the things in our contract, we do typically include a binder coat at the sale of the home. But in our subdivisions, what we'll try to do at the end is we'll try to build in top coats on the driveways at the same time we do the roads. So we did it at Pinehurst. That's kind of our final gift to each of the homeowners that built with us, is that we'll do their top coat for them at the end of the project. And it gives a kind of seamless look to the subdivision as well.
Right. Good. Any other questions? Okay.
The other things to keep in mind too is as we walk back is in the city of Taunton, we are a municipal light company here, so we have Taunton Municipal Light, but this side of 138, all of the poles are owned by Verizon. So we had to get Verizon to come in to move poles around, add poles to the project as well. So those are some of the other things that you learn as you go when building and working with the different companies.
How was that negotiated?
Most municipal companies will give you 2 poles at no cost per meter. So the poles themselves didn't cost us anything. It was really just the time frames of getting them moved. This winter was very difficult from a weather perspective. Not that we got a lot of snow until the end, but there was a period of time in December and early January where it did not get above 30 degrees for about 50 days.
Right.
And we ended up with about 2 feet of frost. So we couldn't do
right?
anything from an excavation standpoint. You'll see obviously the landscaping during construction here was slow. We will be coming back now and regrading all of these lots, adding additional loom over the next couple weeks, doing the landscaping packages on the homes that are closed. Our landscaping packages are what you see here. They include 10 to 12 plants, mulch, loom, and hydrants. This was the pre-existing.
Yeah, I know. It sticks out a little bit because it's not oriented towards the
Yeah, so kind of reason why that is the way it is the when that home was built, there was no water and sewer service here. So they have an easement that goes out through the abutting property for their water and sewer to tap in on the street.
No, actually, it's better with it darker.
So as we come back through, we'll do a little bit quick tour of this floor plan in particular, and then we can jump upstairs and go through a quick presentation and then answer any other questions. So at-grade garage, 1-car garage on this particular home, just about 1,940 square feet. We include a garage door opener, will be textured in all of the non-finished areas of the home. Fireproof door coming in. As we come into the downstairs, you'll see the mud area that we talked about. So one of the things that we do is, tile mud area as we transition into the downstairs, and you'll see the locker room that we built as well. So come on. Yeah, the cleaners haven't come through.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be cleaned on Wednesday. So this home is closing a week from Monday. So at this point, we are completely signed off for plumbing and electric. We have final building inspection on Monday, at which point we will submit for occupancy. The painter has to come in to do final touch-ups on trim and walls, and then it'll be professionally cleaned on Wednesday and be ready to go by early next week. They actually, this particular buyer is doing a home inspection. They have their home inspection scheduled for Monday. This where you're standing right now is the biggest selling point to this floor plan. This large common space downstairs is great. Homeowners love it. Even though it's a split level, it's at grade. You get natural light in the front, natural light in the back, so it creates a great space. We can engineer it with our center beam here, where we have limited lolly columns. Lolly columns are tucked into the walls behind there, so we just have the one cased out here.
Is that steel or wood?
It's a wood LVL and steel lolly column. So you can see that mud area that we talked about. So what we did is we kind of realized, okay, this is kind of a great space, but we don't really, what are we doing? We decided to put the furnaces in the attic. So furnaces are in the attic here. It allowed us to create the space being a smaller utility room. So all we have in that utility room is the hot water tank. We also have started to include in our standard packages, a Renai on-demand wall-mounted hot water tank here. So we've looked at ways to which we can better ourselves from other builders in the area and offer things that other builders aren't using. So, that's one of the first things that we did was move to that. So, all in all, a regular 50-gallon electric hot water tank is about $800. Those are about $1,300, but we qualify for a Mass Save rebate with those. So we're getting $600 back on rebates on every one we install. So a net cost is different, but a huge win on the buyer side of it. You get a full bathroom down here as well, 4-foot walk-in shower, and laundry closet as well. So for laundry is down here as well, tile area. So it's a great setup, flat walkout, get a 12 by 12 pressure treated deck on the outside. We use all Harvey windows throughout the home, and we also, all of the baseboard and casing that we use is one step up from typical builder's grade. So we use 3.5-inch Stafford casing and 5.25-inch speed base throughout all our homes as well. All Benjamin Moore paint, we offer 4 paint colors in the builder's package as well.
How much do you work with the new homeowners since they're buying before the construction's complete to aesthetically please them?
Yeah. So we're not a custom home builder. I'll be the first to say that. So we will typically not put a home on the market until it is sheetrocked. In this particular subdivision, because there were so many similar homes, they started a year agreement faster than they were being sold. So we try to limit the selections to exterior siding color. They pick out their flooring, they pick out their cabinets, their granite, their paint colors. We do offer a handful of interior door selections as well. In this particular case, this homeowner has picked the arch type, so there's 6 different interior doors. Cindy's not in the room now, but so our agent, depending on how we've got it listed, this particular, we use a third-party agency here to list and market this property. So Patty, the agent, along with the project manager here, would facilitate those selections. So they would go to each vendor, pick out their cabinets, pick out their granite, pick out their flooring, pick out their tile, and paint colors. We actually have an entire kitchen display in our offices now that's completed. So they can come in and do most of those selections right in our office. We have a full granite package there as well. They pick out flooring. So most of it can be done right in-house in over a couple of hours. How we track it is everything, we fill out a customer selection sheet by hand, and then it's entered into a Google Sheet. That Google Sheet is shared to the project manager, and then that information also gets passed on through an app called Builder-Trend. We've been using an online Android and iPhone app for about 2 years now, and it allows us to schedule out our entire construction projects. It allows us to put our budgets in there. It allows us to facilitate communication and information to the contractors, so we can upload what they're picking out, what the selections are. Everything goes into that app. And then there's push notifications. So push notifications goes out to the contractor via email and text anytime we make changes. The best thing is the schedule part of it. It's a full Gantt schedule. We slide, we've had a couple of bad weather days and the frame's going to be 3 extra days. We can move that out in Build-A-Trend. Everything else gets moved along with it. And email and text notifications go out to the next set of vendors so they can adjust their schedules by those 3 days. Any other questions?
essentially, all these houses are built on slabs, there's really no basements, is that right?
There's, this particular one has, yeah, these homes have no full basements. So the front to back split has a small crawl space, but this doesn't have a basement. There's a full foundation here because you have to have 4 feet of frost protection.
That's what was my next question, is how far down you
Yeah,
have to go?
so this foundation is a 6-foot wall. So there's 4 feet of frost protection. That basement, that wall then gets filled up to grade, and there's 2 feet of foundation exposed all the way around. The knee walls are built off of there, and then the home's constructed.
So it's like a 4-foot crawl space almost.
There's no crawl space here.
Oh.
It's just it's filled up
Oh, it
and
is filled,
compacted.
okay.
Yeah. You need to provide, under building code, you have to provide frost protection for the foundation at a minimum of 48 inches.
Any other questions?
All right, come on upstairs. So you come up here, the oak treads on the first level coming up is an upgrade. We will typically carry the carpet there, oak at the landing and up. It's an $800 upgrade to do oak all the way up. So going down the common hall, where you'll find 3 bedrooms, common bath. This house is pretty standard. Obviously, we talked about the oak coming up the stairs. That was an $800 upgrade. The oak flooring here on the first floor and down the hallway is part of the package. The espresso cabinets, we offer 5 stain colors as well as white in the standard package. There are 6 or 7 level 1 granites that are included in their standard package. This particular homeowner did upgrade their appliances. We have 2 Frigidaire packages. Common package is a regular standard 4-burner stove, microwave, standard dishwasher with the controls in the front, and a stainless steel side-by-side refrigerator. You can see in the upgrade package when you go to the gallery series, you end up with a 5-burner stove, the grill, a nicer dishwasher with hidden controls, and nicer handles on the microwave. And it's about a $700 upgrade from the appliance company. So overall, it's pretty good value. A lot of buyers do choose to go with the upgraded package. The lighting package is, they get a $1,000 lighting allowance here. They can go to a local vendor who uses Bristol Lights on Ware Street, and they can pick out all that lighting. You'll see that this particular home, in difference to the ones that you saw on 6, 7, and 8, where the decks are off the back, because of orientation and meeting setbacks on this lot, we redesigned this. Let's move the sliding glass door to the side. We added this double window here to bring some more natural light. They have a 12 by 12 deck that kind of will then stairs come down to the backyard. Any other questions?
Typically, when if this was a rehab house and it was to the studs and stuff like that, and you were fixing it up, when you put up the drywall and all that, would you typically also do like packages that whoever's trying to buy it would decide, or is that something more for a larger scale project?
Yeah, on rehabs, we finish them. So we finish the home to the end before it goes on the market. So very, very rarely do we pre-sell a rehab. On occasion, Bernadette will do a good job of sometimes posting something new to the market or coming to the market, and we'll occasionally pre-sell something through social media, whether it be Instagram or Facebook, and we'll get a buyer involved. But again, very, very rarely do we get buyers involved in a rehab project, more so on the new construction.
It's kind of a pain, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Earlier when I said we're not a custom home builder, you literally need a full-time project manager just to manage the buyers. The questions that you get, the emails that you get, the phone calls, it's relentless. And they want to change this, they want to change that, they want to move this door, move that wall, I want this closet to be bigger. You have to be at a significantly higher rate of cost per square foot to accommodate that, and most of the time it's difficult. You're just in a completely different market.
Okay.
What kind of insulation were you required to use in the outside walls?
So the outside walls are R21. So this is all 2x6 construction with R21 insulation.
Is it spray? I don't know anything about insulation. Is that spray foam?
It's bad. So
Oh, okay.
with the new construction codes, when you go to a 2x6 wall, it gives you a large enough cavity to get that R21. So in this particular home, the sill plate along the outside is spray foam. So where the sill plate attaches to the foundation, that gets sealed with spray foam. And all of the external penetrations get sealed with spray foam. Then you have batt insulation in the floor, batt insulation in the exterior walls, and then blown in cellulose in the attic. So you end up with 15 inches of blown in cellulose in the attic in the cavity. That also allows us to do the cathedrals as well. So you see this cathedral here, and this cathedral on the mouse there. It allows us to still meet the yard values.
No questions? Can I switch with you? I
So
can
we've done
this
a
way?
lot.
Thank you.
Just general conversations about it. But this is a little bit of an overview about ourselves and the project. We have been full-time agents and investors since 2005. We've facilitated well over $100 million in real estate transactions, both from the renovation side of the business and the rehab side of the business. If you asked us this question 3 years ago, we were 80% rehabbers, 20% new construction. If you ask the same question today, we're probably starting to finally switch the pendulum the other way. We're about 60% new construction and 40% rehab. And I would say in the next 24 months, it'll be 80-20. We've got a lot of new construction kind of lined up on the business. We'll continue to rehab. There's great margin in it, great flips in it. But we'll pick and choose kind of what we want to do and how we want to do it on that side of the business. And we've got many projects lined up that are already in the books that are being permitted. That's going to take quite a bit of time on the development side of the business.
Chris, was that a conscious decision to switch from the flips to the ground up? Or?
It's been just an evolution of the business and what has been brought to us and how we've been able to put deals together through almost organically. We're getting more opportunity now from raw land opportunities and or tear down opportunities. We recently put under contract a large parcel on Bay Street, which was an old diocesan church. The church has already been torn down, but we're getting the rectory and the convent, and we're going to do a convent project there. So there'll be 2 existing buildings that will get renovated and turned into condominiums, and then we're going to build 2 duplexes.
Is that your first condo project?
It's not. We've done a handful of duplexes, which are condexes, so master deed for 2 units sold separately. And we have an 8-unit condo complex under construction right now on Hart Street. It's a full association, roadway, utilities.
Do you manage it after? Or
We will not. We will. So right now, Chris and I are the trustees of the trust of the association, and at the end, we will at the final sale of the last unit, we'll turn that over to the association of homeowners. So we talked a little bit about the history of the project. So back, the Highland Heights Road Bridge was opened over 60 years ago. It operated at 4 Woodbine Street. Some pictures there. But it was a very popular roller skating rink and very popular among the youth in the area for quite a long time. I personally never skated there. I didn't grow up locally, but Cindy, who's one of our members of our team and our listing agent, does remember going skating there. It was a pretty unique thing. When we went in, it was in complete disrepair, but all the skates were still there, the flooring was still there. Actually, a restoration company came and took a big amount of section of the floor out for us prior to demolition. So just some overviews here. Again, we purchased the land for $525,000 over 10 lots. Top coat finish out. Right to engineer about $15,000 at that point, and permitting about $78,000. Why do we pick the area? So really, again, most of our deals come organically through networking, through being local business folks here, and the current landowner's daughter actually bought a house from us many years ago, knew that we were doing some ground up construction, brought us this opportunity. We took several months to kind of put the parameters of the deal together as we started permitting it. We worked with the EPA, we worked with National Heritage, we had to work with the city engineer and city planner initially, and then this project also required approval by the zoning board and the planning board. So this particular side shows the roadway construction, so you can see Oak Avenue coming in. Initially, there were two taps on the road for water and sewer taps, the road for actual infrastructure coming up the roadway into the cul-de-sac and ultimately the catch basin. You can see the catch basin has actually become a little bit of an issue for us, so we're looking at ways to resolve it. During the heavy rains recently, the catch basin is not draining properly. The land itself, these isolated wetlands that are down behind the catch basin, actually, this was Natural Heritage changed the plan. Initially, that cul-de-sac pitched up so the stormwater would drain back towards Oak Street Oak Avenue, and be caught in catch basins. They wanted it, they changed it and required us to pitch it back so it would feed the wetlands. And now we've got this such high groundwater, it's coming back in through the culvert and coming up to the ground. So
Is that because of the heavy rain?
yeah, it's because of the heavy rains, and really, the last two springs, the groundwater level across eastern Massachusetts has been extremely high. So we've got the heavy rains contributing to it, as well as high groundwater contributing to those things. So we're looking at some options, both with Natural Heritage and with the local city to resolve that. And one of the things that they're proposing is to put another structure either in the cul-de-sac or in the catch basin itself. We just got to do the math now to figure out if we've got enough positive pitch from that structure back to the street. This was the initial Form J, so this is what created the subdivision of the lots for us. So you see these two existing structures, you see the Claudio's home, and then you see the 10 lots. So the lot in the upper left-hand corner is the one on Vincent Street. That'll be constructed later. We're actually in the process of trying to acquire, see that small piece of land next to the lot itself? So it's owned by a local abutter that it's not buildable. So we're trying to acquire that to give us a little bit more frontage and do a land swap in the back. A butter that owns it owns one of the lots that are butted in the back. So we're trying to negotiate that. Makes our lot a little bit better and gives them a little bit more in the backyard. So that's pretty close to being done. But you can see the large parcel of land that is included in this. That is all part of that conservation restriction with Natural Heritage. This project could have been 20 homes, but with the habitat and part of the negotiations and the EPA and all of the sites. So we purchased the land in October of 2016. Permitting and engineering had already been ongoing. We broke ground in May of 2017 and sold the first home in October. Overall, we work on about 150-day build schedule. So from initial staking of the lot to occupancy of about 150 days. So far, homes that are completed and sold, lots 2 through 4, 6 and 8, 1 and 9 are the 2 projects that we're in now are under agreement, and then we have the 2, 5 and 10 that we talked about. Talked a little bit about the eastern spade-toed frog. So you can see here on the left-hand side, it's tough on the slide. You might be able to see it in the presentation. There's some color coding in there that shows the habitats and things like that. So some of the things that we talked about is potential nesting and breeding, feeding, migration, and part of the frog study up front is identifying if that's a current habitat, if that habitat is being utilized by the frogs, if there's breeding going on there, and then potentially relocating the frogs that are there to the habitat we're creating. Just over Cindy's shoulder, if you look out the sliding glass door, you'll see some excavation that was recently done. So we excavated just over a half acre back there. It turned up a lot of the current silkgrass and ryegrass that was out there. Turned all that grass over. There'll be some rototilling that'll go on next. And then, as soon as that dries out a little bit more, there'll be some additional raking and extraction of the existing grass. And we have to plant a specific variety of grass in that kind of but that, in all, is another almost hidden cost in the project. Recreating that habitat is going to cost about $10,000. You'll see that a little bit better picture on the slideshow in the bottom left-hand corner of the Form J and the design of the lots. We worked with Following Court, a local engineer out of the city of New Bedford, did the engineering on this project. They also helped facilitate the wildlife structure. On the right-hand side, you'll see the habitats and that layover that we talked about using MapGeo. So you can kind of pinpoint in here, and then you can put the different layers right on the computer screen to kind of see how the habitat affects the project. And then ultimately, we talked a little bit about the key contributors here. Miss Deanne from the endangered species biologist at Natural Heritage, Brian Madden, who was our hired wildlife consultant through LCL Environmental Consultants. We had worked with the Division of Wildlife, Farland Corp, all of those were kind of key contributors to the project as well. And as many of you know, we are actively facilitating a fast-track joint venture program and a training program for entrepreneurs and real estate investors on the rehab side of the business. We offer a couple different pockets of that through Brownstone, where there's a coaching option, which is weekly coaching calls where you talk about different varieties of rehabbing, and then we have a kind of one-on-one program as well, where you come into the training program, you get weekly trainings as well as paired with a senior project manager and actually facilitate your own rehab. We're in the process of launching a version of that on the new construction side of the business. So we wanted to kind of gauge some interest, both at a mastermind event the other night and here today, of would there be an interest in a new construction platform for that as well. And to wrap it up, certainly if there's any questions.
No?
Sure.
This house has, is it 2 full baths?
There are 2 full baths.
How do you know between downstairs, it could be a playroom, someone could hang out there, between just doing a half bath versus a full down?
Straight, Dale, I know you're a real estate appraiser, so pure value of the home. 3 beds, 2 baths, then that give us much more value on the back end than a 3-bed, 1.5 baths. And functionality, families are going to want that second bath, whether it's, multiple leaving different showers at different times, how families' functions and schedules go. It's a certain added value, and it doesn't add a lot of cost. When you're looking at a bathroom that already exists, you're about $1,000 to $1,500 per fixture. So that you're really talking $1,500 to add that shower for a walk-in $5 shower. Overall, in the grand scheme of construction, you're going to get that far more on the back end. That's a great question.
Construction cost for this house was $190,000,
About $190,000.
and the smaller,
About $175,000.
what was the square foot of the smaller?
The small one was $1,750. We've got it down now where we're building around $110 a square foot. We're pretty tight on that. It's tough to be that low and to control costs. Your average retail market is 125 to 130, custom homes 150 to 175. But most of our subcontractors do a lot of work for us, so we've been able to obviously hold costs there. We've gone out to a lot of supplies, houses, and vendors to negotiate additional costs. We recently met the supply house for the plumbing company, where we're going to bulk purchase, faucets and valves and toilets, and we're going to buy those hot water heaters. We're going to start buying pallets of 6 at a time. So we're constantly looking at ways in which we can sharpen our pencil and buy things in bulk. Use our buying power and number of projects that we have as a vendors to kind of control those prices out.
And those figures include digging and pouring the foundation. Get it down.
Yeah.
What are the pluses and minuses versus for people who are interested rehabbing or getting involved in new construction? What are the big differences?
Yeah, I think from a rehab perspective, it's a great way to get into real estate investing because you have an existing shell and footprint. There's certainly a lot of things you can uncover and you're going to learn throughout the process. But with research, good subcontractors, a good general license contractor, you can usually get through the rehab process. As a novice, as a learner, kind of putting pieces together and really kind of making it your own talent per se. New construction is a little bit more challenging from a scheduling perspective. You kind of have to get that rehab side of it, and that's how we learn how to schedule and facilitate the construction on a rehab, and then we slowly kind of figure out the construction of a new home and what has to happen and the phases that has to happen, and then all of the other municipal parties that get involved. So the behind the scenes working with the cities and towns and the building inspectors and the permitting process of the new construction. You can get a building permit on a renovation project in a week. It takes us almost 6 weeks to get a building permit on new construction. Different signatures that we have to get from the city, site work, site designs, architecturals. So someone asked earlier about the architectural designs and how we work with this. Sure, you can buy a set of plans online, but those aren't stamped by an architect. So we get a set of plans from the architect. They then have to go to the local building company that's going to supply the lumber to get all of the engineering stamped. You can provide stamps for your beams in the attic. All of that has to be packaged and put into the building permit application. Also under the new energy codes now, you have to submit a heat loss and a duct design for the heating system that has to be approved by the building department. So there's a lot of things early on in the new construction that makes it a little bit more challenging. And then once you get going, it's just facilitating that schedule and what goes next. As investors, what costs us money is dead days. And limiting the amount of days that goes on in your project if there's nothing happening. And new construction being able to control that. And that's where builder trend is really coming to be a key player in our project. So we can really see every day what's going on in the project, who's supposed to be there, what's the schedule that's happening. We can limit the amount of decades.
Is that a software program you said, Builder Trend?
Builder Trend. It's actually great for rehabbers too. It allows you to kind of schedule out your projects, see it in different phases. It's an app on your phone. It's a desktop application. You can use it on an iPad, Android device, and desktop. And the communication piece between you and the subcontractors is great. The subs don't love it because most subs aren't
Tech savvy?
So they don't like to interact with the through it. So sometimes but what's great about it is they do get the notifications, and then like Nick will say, he'll come in, do an assessment, and he'll go back and do some adjustments on build a trend. And then sometimes it's a build a trend communication as well as a text and a phone call, or a text to the sub to say, hey, I made this change, or hey, can you give me an update on this? But from our perspective, it allows us to schedule out 22 open jobs right now. We can look at, do we have conflicts? So is our electrician scheduled to be at 3 different places today? Can't do that. So we can see big picture Gantt views from project managers.
Do you feel like there's going to be, or that Brownstone is just going to continue to do new construction just because of the limited inventory?
Yes, yeah, new
Everywhere?
construction right now is certainly going to help on the inventory perspective. So kind of, right now, we're wrapping up this subdivision. We have 3 A&R lots. So A&R stands for approval not required. They meet frontage and area and setbacks on an existing roadway. So those are usually signed off from a planning perspective, engineering perspective, the municipality, without having to go to the planning board. So we have 3 of those in New Bedford. We have 2 in Westport. We have 7 in East Taunton. We have the 8-unit condominium project in Taunton as well. We are waiting to kick off 2 triplex units, so mini condos on Staples Avenue. We just got the Bay Street project under agreement, so that's in the preliminary planning stages. But we also have a 28-unit subdivision under agreement that's supposed to close in June. That's a new road, it's this on a much larger scale.
Are you doing work on North Walker Street?
Not right now.
There's a new construction project across the street from
Yeah.
that house.
Yeah, there is.
I wondered if it were you guys.
Yeah, it's not us, but there is one on North Walker Street. I'm actually familiar with the project. There's quite a bit of new construction in town right now. It's a good geographical location between folks that commute to the South Coast as well as folks that commute to Boston. Easy access to the train, and most major highways being 24, 495, Route 140.
So with the Fast Track Joint Venture Program, and I know you guys are still in the kind of beginning stages of this, they only like to get 3 to 4 new students every quarter. Would you be looking for the same for this, or would you be able to open it up to more people?
It would probably be less.
Less.
To start. We would probably look to 1 to 2 per quarter
Okay.
to start, and then grow from there. We want to make sure that we hit it out of the park, and we've got the curriculum nailed down and what the program's going to look like. It's all in my head, but it's not on paper yet. So Kim and I will be working on that this summer, and we hope to launch it in the fall.
Okay.
Do you prefer to have people that have already gone through the flipping kind of experience, whether with you or in their own history?
Not necessarily. We would certainly open it up to anyone who's interested in the process. We want to try to nail down our subject matter experts and how we're going to facilitate that, because a lot of this new construction piece is all the work that has to happen before you can put a shovel in the ground. So we want to make sure that we've got our engineers on board that will help, and municipal officials that we can sit down and have some conversations with, or we're willing to facilitate coaching calls and things like that, zoning. And I think we had a conversation the other night about teardowns and where teardowns can come into effect and what has to happen from a zoning perspective. Whether you've got a conforming lot, non-conforming lot, what do you need from a permitting perspective on that? Do we need to go get a special permit from the zoning board? Is it variances? What are you going to need to do? Things like that. So we want to nail all of that curriculum down in place, so we've got a really good roadmap of what that program is about.
Awesome. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
No? Okay, for networking purposes, I always want to give people the opportunity to just say, hey, my name is, this is who I am, this is who I'm looking to network with. So we'll do that real quick, and then we'll let you guys network and have it be done for the day. I know I'm drawn to the baby, so you guys want to start?
Hi, I'm LaWanda Marilyn, and I'm hoping to be working with Brownstone in the next coming joint venture program. And I'm also a licensed realtor. I actually showed 36.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome.
And I'm Joanne Coleman, so we are going to be partners. We're going to do the joint venture in June, and so this is my 3rd meeting with you guys, and every time I come, I learn something new, so I'm really excited.
Awesome. You guys all met Chris?
My name is Hunter Ross. I'm a real estate investor looking for investors.
I'm Aiden Delgadillo. I'm a flipper trying to be a wholesaler and a plumbing company. So that's
Marcia Eden, M&M Solution Providers. real estate investor, doing wholesales, fix and flips, and buying.
Cindy Arpin, I've just joined the Brownstone team. I'm going to be selling all of their upcoming construction projects.
David Zick, just here out of curiosity.
Okay.
I'm David Ruver. My company's called Rock City Capital. I'm a flipper, done some passive investing as well, and I can also broker some hard money funds.
I'm Nick Carl. I'm here with Dave. I just have some budding interest. I want to see what it's like.
Elise Saylor-Breck. I'm a real estate agent with RE/MAX in Cambridge and Somerville, and I'm a new member of the JP program. And looking for people that are interested in buying properties to flip in my area, mostly in Cambridge and Somerville.
Daniel Collins, I'm managing partner of Forecourt Properties. I'm an alumni of the joint venture program with Brownstone, and I'm interested in buys, holds, and that's pretty much it.
Where though?
I'll go anywhere. Holds, we'll talk. The flips, I can do anything. I can do some wholesales.
Okay.
Sean Sullivan, I'm in the Scordis JVP program.
Brenda Daniel, this is my first meetup. I'm looking to hopefully do some flips, wholesaling, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Karina Frank, I'm looking to do wholesaling.
Kari Hardy, excuse me. My wife and I are newly into flipping and wholesaling, actually looking for investments. We actually have a property right now that we're looking for investment opportunities on, and just trying to make
What kind are you looking for? You need hard money? You need seed money? What do you need?
Seed money mostly.
Okay. So you want to partner with somebody maybe? Okay.
I'm Steve Kamar, 78 Properties. We do mostly rehabs. We've done one new construction. We're out of Stoughton, so we're looking in the Stoughton, South Shore area, but we'll go pretty much anywhere in Mass for the right deal.
Okay. I'm Keith Burke. I'm Steve's partner at 78 Properties.
Nick Tebek. I recently joined Brownstone a few months ago after college. I'll do anything from accounting, project managing, picking up bagels for making PowerPoints, but I'll do everything. That's me.
Mario Finkbeiner with M&M Solution Provider, former mortgage banker out of New York, and I'm investing in this area, expanding in Boston.
Awesome. So you guys know who you need to connect with, right? All right. We are going off of Facebook Live.